Welcome STEM for Girls members. We are here with Skills Canada for a valet presentation on Skills for Success and all of their programs, really. I can't wait to hear more about their competitions. We did have Rebecca and Allie way back in July it was, so you can still look at those videos in the archives from Summer Summit and your navigation bar there, but you can just straight up ask them questions today. And of course, there's gamification points for live and advanced questions as always. So pop those into the chat. You can also raise your hand and we can turn on your audio capabilities if you'd like to speak instead of typing. But with that, I am going to hand it over to these wonderful women to share what Skills Canada is all about and learn some more. And just quickly, I will say, if I forget to, we are back next Monday again with Jojo Greeley and another woman in the skilled trades to learn more about their career. So don't forget to get in your worksheet for Monday's session as well. All right, here we go.
All right, well, thank you so much for the great introduction. My name is Allie. I'm here with my coworkers. We have Carrie and Rebecca, who are also going to pop on at some point and talk to you guys, but I'll be the one mainly facilitating this presentation today. I am Youth Programs Coordinator with Skills Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador, and today you folks are sitting in for a Valet presentation. So this is brought to you by our partner Valet, who is a huge supporter of the skills trades in Newfoundland and Labrador. So we thank them for allowing us to continue programming like this to spread it to you folks. So first up, what is Skills Canada? So Skills Canada Newfoundland and Labrador is a non-for-profit organization that works to promote education in the skills trades and technologies to youth all across our province. We do this through tons of different types of programming, including some competitions, some presentations like this, and different types of events. So I'll run through a few of those as we're doing the presentation today. But first off, when we're trying to understand what Skills Canada does, we need to understand what skilled careers are. So has anyone, oh, shouldn't have gone that fast. Has anyone here ever heard of a skilled career before? If you can, poke it in the chat, give me some examples, any type of skilled career. Absolutely anything. Welding. Becca, I wasn't exactly asking you, but it works perfectly. Welding is a great example of a skilled trade and technology. So I'll move right along. There are actually more than 500 types of careers that come from skills trades and technologies. These can include different trades like electricians, millwrights, aviation techs, chefs, or different technology careers like graphic design, TV video production, video game designers, or computer programmers. So all of these different careers focus on people who are using their hands to do their jobs and working really hard. So next up, why should you consider a skilled career? Well, at Skills Canada, we narrow this down to 3 main reasons. They are respect, opportunities, and good pay. So when we're talking about the skills trades and technologies, if you think about it, they are really essential when it comes to your day-to-day lives. So right now, I'm assuming that you're likely taking in this presentation from your home, you're sat on your computer, a phone, a tablet, something similar. None of that would be possible without skills trades and technologies. You wouldn't be sat in your home without a carpenter, you wouldn't have your lights on without an electrician, you wouldn't have a bathroom without a plumber, your computer wouldn't work without a computer programmer or IT specialists. So we need all of these different types of careers to keep our economy and our province sustainable. And since these are such important jobs, the people who do them are well respected for those reasons. Next up, we talk about opportunity. So as I said before, there are actually over 500 different skilled careers to choose from. So there are a ton of different careers that you can walk into within the skills trades and technology. The opportunities are almost endless, so it's really something, there's something for everyone. And finally, there's good pay. So as I said before, these careers are absolutely essential when it comes to keeping our province running day to day. And since this is such an important job, these people who do them are well rewarded. So people are compensated for the good work that they do to keep our province running. So what are apprenticeships? When we're talking about skills trades and technologies, we need to acknowledge apprenticeships. So essentially, if you were going to go to school to, if you were planning on going to school to do a diploma in some type of skilled trade, I'll use carpentry as the example because it's what's on the slideshow. An apprenticeship is the opportunity to learn, but also earn some money while you're still in school. So an apprenticeship gives students the opportunity to go hands-on and do what their future career will be in a real life workplace. So it's essentially a work term type of situation where you'll get paid for doing work that is going to benefit you in the future. We like to call it earn while you learn because this means that you'll have much less debt when you're coming out of school as you're still earning money and you're getting hands-on training. So this is very useful for people in the trades and technologies. Next up, what is a red seal? So this is along the same lines of apprenticeship. It's when you're getting your diploma in college, and the red seal is a national standard of excellence in the skilled trades for Canada. So essentially a red seal just endorses the fact that you are trained to do your job in any different province across the country. So imagine if I'm a carpenter, using that example from the previous slide, and I get my diploma in carpentry, and on top of it, I go and get my red seal. Well, my red seal shows people all across the country that I am well suited to do my job. So that means if I'm applying for jobs in Newfoundland, or if I'm applying for jobs to move away to go to Alberta, no matter where I'm applying for these jobs, people know that I'm completely certified to get the job done and get the job done right. So this would move my resume from the bottom of the pile right up to the top. So it's a very useful thing if you're looking to obtain jobs outside of your usual province. So now that we've talked about skills, trades, and technologies just a little bit, I'm going to move into the different programs that we offer. As shown on the screen here, we have 4 main program offerings. These include Skills Futures events, Valet Career Exploration presentations, Entrepreneur, and Skills Canada competitions. So first up are Skilled Futures events. Essentially, Skilled Futures offers youth the opportunity to engage in interactive skilled trade and technology careers through workshops and virtual events. So essentially, it's giving youth the opportunity to think about these careers for their future. So in the past, we've done a bunch of Skilled Futures events, both virtually and in physical prior to the pandemic. Some examples include Skilled Futures in finance, baking, hydraulics. We do some specifically for new Canadians or for women specifically, as we know that's important. Other examples include some in leadership, entrepreneurship, and radio broadcasting even. So these different types of workshops really give youth the chance to explore hands-on some different careers that they may be interested in the future, or to even learn about some careers they may not have known about prior to. Next up is our Valet Career Explorations and Presentations. So essentially, it's pretty straightforward. This is exactly what you're taking in right now. I sit here on my screen or in person in front of your class. If we were not in a pandemic, would be nice. But I'll sit here, I run through the slideshow and teach you folks about some of the different careers that are offered to you in the skills, trades, and technologies. So stuff you might not hear every day. So our Entrepreneur program is next up. Essentially, the Entrepreneur program provides young tradespeople and technologists with the necessary tools and knowledge to translate their skills in the skilled trades and technologies into successful business ideas and self-employment in the long run. So we do this by offering interactive events for areas with quality business development. So for Entrepreneur, we have a few different programs. This includes our Dragon Slayer simulations, our apprenticeship programs, and our Lunch and Learn seminars for educators. These are all very exciting programs that help teach youth how they're going to combine their skills in the trades and the technologies and their passions along with business. Next up is my personal favorite thing to talk about, which is competitions. So at Skills Canada, Newfoundland, and Labrador, we participate in 4 different levels of competitions. These include our intermediate competitions, our provincial competitions, our national competitions, and our world skills competitions. So starting up our intermediate challenge. Our intermediate challenge is offered virtually to intermediate students all across the province. This means grades 7 to 9, so usually junior high students. Currently, we have been doing these completely virtually due to the pandemic. But these challenges generally include a friendly and competitive atmosphere for students where they're showcasing their abilities in the skills, trades, and technologies. It really allows students to explore different passions in a fun and friendly way while getting to learn and practice hands-on. So some of the examples, as you can see behind, include cooking. I do believe this was cake decorating, actually. Other different categories would include photography, graphic design usually, web technologies, and a bunch of others. Next up is the provincial competition, which is also going through virtual delivery, but this essentially is the next level up of competition. So if you compete at the if you compete at the intermediate level and you win a gold medal, you would then move on to the Skills Canada provincial competition. So the provincial competition is open to any intermediate medalists, along with high school students, post-secondary students, and apprentices all across the province. So usually we offer around 40 different competition areas through all of these different levels and we usually have about 300 regional finalists across the province. Usually pre-pandemic, we'd be gathering at SCNL Prince Philip Drive in St. John's. Of course, due to the pandemic, most of our stuff has been moved virtually. But despite the pandemic, we've been moving forward with our virtual delivery. We've had so many students competing and people love the virtual competitions, even if they're not quite the same. We actually have our provincial competitions coming up soon. They'll be happening in April. Our registration is open now, and we will be having our contest descriptions posted coming up soon at the end of January. So if you're interested in competing in any of the categories, I'm going to have Carrie run you through in a few minutes. We would love to see you participating because these competitions are an absolute blast and an opportunity you're really not getting anywhere else. So here's my slide that lists just a few of the competitions offered, or all of the competitions offered to secondary students. There's more competitions offered post-secondary, but this is what would be available to secondary students looking to compete in the provincial competitions. So we have CBDC The Pitch, which is in a team of 2. It's essentially a business pitching idea themed competition. The Coding Challenge, which is actually a super cool one because there will be a workshop prior to. So even if you're not completely familiar with coding, you can hop onto that one and learn about coding and then go ahead and do the competition. Graphic design, which is like designing posters, social media graphics, that kind of stuff. Hairstyling, which is always super fun in teams of 2. IT network system administration, IT office software. Job search, which is essentially like doing interviews, making resumes, that kind of thing. Job skill demo, which is a mix of public speaking and showing off a skill that you have. Photography, public speaking, robotics, video production, which is also in teams of 2, web technologies, and workplace safety. So I'll quickly hand it over to Carrie because I do believe she's going to talk to you folks about the schools that are registered and how you can get involved. Take it away, Carrie.
Hi, yes, thanks, Allie. Again, my name is Carrie Taylor, and I'm the program coordinator for the competitions division. I'll just give you a quick rundown. I don't have to share my screen or anything, but I'll just give you a quick rundown. We've actually had a great registration this year, even though it's all virtual. Everybody loves the in-person stuff, but I think we're getting a little more comfortable with the virtual world. So our secondary, like Ali said, is online, and we actually have 21 schools registered, and out of those, and then an extra 5 schools for the junior high. So altogether, we'll have 26 schools competing this year virtually. I'll give you a quick number because our numbers have been absolutely fabulous as well. And I think it's all due to these types of presentations, our valets and our different programming that we actually offer that is kind of providing you guys the opportunity and letting you guys know about the opportunities that we have. So our numbers in baking are 13 people who are competing. And in most cases, I'll just give you an idea, we were looking at only like say 8 people trying to compete, but we've overcome that and we're now taking 13. We have 12 in cooking. In our hairstyling, we have 13 people, 15 in coding. Graphic design has 14, IT network 9, and also IT office are 9. Job search are 11. Skills, the job skills demonstration is 14, which is a great number. As well as the mobile robotics, we have 9 people looking to compete. Our photography, there's 18. Pitch, there's 11. Public speaking, there's 16. Video productions, and there's 13. Web technologies, there's 8. And workplace safety, there's 12. So it's going to be a great, exciting, fun competition. And it's a great opportunity to try something new. We have schools, say from Queen Elizabeth, Holy Spirit, Ascension, Mount Pearl Senior, Southwest Arm, Baltimore. That's one of the newer schools that we've had register, and that's all the way down in Fairland. Baccaloo, let me see where else. We have All Saints on the western side, as well as Beta Spear. So there's other schools involved as well, but I just wanted to give you an idea. So it's going to be a great competition. Like I said, fun environment, even though it will be virtual. There'll be submission based, and there will also be live. So it's great to get involved. That's my little spiel. Take it away, Allie.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carrie. So if you heard your school on any of those lists, or you're curious if your school has registered, feel free to ask Carrie about it after the competition, and we'll see if there's a spot for you to compete in any of these categories, because we would love to see you folks getting involved. So next up, we're going to talk about the national competition just a little bit. So our national competition, it generally happens in a different Canadian province each year. The last time we were able to host it in person, of course, was 2019. Usually it happens in the spring. So the last host province was Halifax, Nova Scotia. It was a wonderful trip. So I will show a quick video just so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. Just 1 second. Just 1 second while I switch around my screen so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. All right. Share screen. Google Chrome, share. Grammarly ad, a classic one. All right, and here's the video. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Enjoy.
Can't hear it, Allie.
Can't hear it. Love. Okay, give me 1 more second. Share computer sound. Missed that nice little button. All right, should be able to hear it this time.
Team British Columbia. Team Manitoba. Équipe Nouveau-Brunswick. Team Newfoundland and Labrador. Team Northwest Territories. Team Alberta. Team Nunavut. Team Ontario. Team Prince Edward Island. Équipe Québec. Team Saskatchewan. Team Yukon. And now the host province, Team Nova Scotia.
All right, so that's just a quick video on our national competition. I can speak to it a bit as I am a past competitor in the competitions, but essentially the competition is this huge gathering of all these different people who compete in skills, trades, and technologies. It is the only Olympic style competition. It does kind of feel like you're at the Olympics when you're there and you're in person because it is so large. One of my favorite parts of it is that you really never know what you're going to come across. So you could walk into one room and you see these people all laid out doing the aesthetics competition. Meanwhile, you might walk into another room and you might see all these people working on big tractors. You really don't know what to expect. So usually when I'm suggesting that people compete in these competitions, I narrow it down to 3 main reasons. First off is the travel opportunities. Now, of course, this has been limited due to the pandemic, but usually the competitions take place in a different Canadian province each and every year. As someone who competed for 4 years myself, I competed in the photography category. I got to travel all across the country, provinces I may have never traveled to otherwise, including Saskatchewan, Alberta, Winnipeg, Halifax. So these are places I might have never gone otherwise, and we had the opportunity to be traveling around the province to visit some different places while we were there. So that was always really exciting. The second reason is the networking that you can get done. So by traveling to a different part of the, by traveling to a different part of the country, you get to meet all different sorts of people, and specifically you get to meet all different sorts of people in your trade. So specifically, I'm a photographer. I got to meet all different photographers from across the country, many of whom I still follow on different social media platforms and keep up to date with. And this is a networking thing I never would have had if I hadn't competed with Skills Canada. And finally, it's the experience that you're going to get nowhere else. So personally, again, I'm a photographer. I keep repeating that, but that's what I did. And without my Skills Canada experience, I don't think I would be as into photography as I am today. So since I competed with Skills Canada for years, I was able to get lots of hands-on practice, lots of help from technical experts, lots of advice from people in my field. And Skills Canada has taken me up to where I am in photography today. Currently, I'm the photographer for the Lund Seahawks. So it's been really exciting to follow along with Skills Canada and get to develop my skill even more. So that's a bit about what Skills Canada can do for you. I'll show one more quick video.
Ali, before you show, do you mind if I just ask you a quick question? Trina said before, she just wrote in the group that, you know, Emma Power, how one of their mentors, and I'm sure you know Emma, you know, even though, and I know Jacob, one of our past alumni as well, is the same thing for him. Even though you may not necessarily be interested in a trade, you know, or even a technology career, like maybe you're interested in doing a medical degree or becoming a teacher or doing something like that. Even though that's not considered a skill trade or a technology, these competitions are great builders because they, you know, give you confidence. They teach you to different skills that you may have not been able to have the opportunity, you know, to be taught anywhere else. So for example, photography is something you love to do in your spare time. And of course you actually have employment as a Seahawks photographer, but that doesn't necessarily that you have to go become a photographer full-time as your career, right? So I think that one's a really good, area is a really good example of that, of how you can kind of go do different things, but it's the skills that you gain when you do compete in these different areas.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not the only example of this. I mean, we've had some alumni compete and they go on to do great things in their field, but we've had other alumni compete who do absolutely nothing to do with their field. An example that comes to mind is we had girls competing in workplace safety and I do believe it was job search, and the two of them are both in pharmacy and nursing now. So neither of those careers really add up, but I mean, there's workplace safety. I mean, no matter what place you're in, you'll always use workplace safety. And then if we go back to job search, no matter what you're doing, you're going to have to job search eventually. So a lot of these are, even if they might not add up completely to your end goal career, it's good experience. It looks good on a resume, no matter what you're going into. And, you know, even if you don't think you're going to use it at the end of the day, it's just a wicked experience. As a photographer myself, I don't think I'll end up being a full-time photographer when I work with Skills currently. I do photography as a part-time job, a side gig, and I love it, but I don't think I'll ever do photography full-time. But I do plan on doing some marketing stuff. And photography goes hand in hand with that. So even if you don't think you're going to use it completely, maybe it'll come in handy one day. So I am going to share my screen again really quickly, and I'll actually show you a video from one of the alumni we talked about, and that is Jacob Manning. So Jacob Manning did job skill demo, which is essentially you pick any skill that you're interested in and you show it off to the judges. He did job skill demo, and now he is working in graphic design industry, doing some video stuff. And yeah, so even if he competed in job skill demo, it wasn't exactly what he did when he reached his end goal career. So I'll play that video now without further ado.
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
I went from
My name is Jacob Manning. I'm a full-time graphic designer with College of the North Atlantic's Office of Applied.
You guys can't hear that, can you?
Yeah, we could, Allie. It was perfect.
Oh shoot. I stopped it for no good reason then. I was like, oh, I didn't hit the share.
No, you're all good.
All right, sharing it again. Sorry about
I
that.
started with Skills Canada in the 9th grade. I competed in job skill demonstration where I was able to further explore the world of graphic design, and now I'm here. Job skill demonstration is a combination of public speaking and also demonstrating any given skill that is offered through Skills Canada competitions. For me, I took the approach of exploring the world of graphic design. So I went through videography, I went through screen printing, and then all the way to like tie-dye. And it all sort of connects back, but those are all through different competitions. The national competition experience is amazing. It's like the Olympics for skilled trades and technology. After competing several years in a row, it was an amazing feeling to then walk onto that stage and be presented with a gold medal for a job skill demonstration for Newfoundland and Labrador. You know, I felt like it was like my most accomplished feat in high school at the time, and you know, it was really great then to stand on that gold medal podium in front of people from all across Canada, and then to see my team members from Newfoundland and Labrador in the audience who were just so excited that I had you know, won this gold medal, and they were sharing that moment with me was a pretty great experience. Graphic design sort of influences like everyone around you and can influence a lot of a thinking and sort of perception of things. So I think for me, it's sort of like finding that best solution and sort of how to communicate an idea. Right now, I'm doing a lot of graphic design work with industry partners of the college. So we have mining companies, it's oil and gas industry, which is kind of something that is totally new to me. So it can be a challenge to sort of, you know, figure out how to approach something like that. But I think through communication with your colleagues and your supervisor, at the end of the day, you'll find a solution. So far, we've kind of got tangled up with this geological project with the college's Office of Applied Research, which is photographing drill core samples. And so we developed a low-cost, effective drill core scanner, and we now had the chance to go to Labrador and photograph 2 holes of drill core, which was pretty cool. And so I think we're well on our way with that, and that's been, you know, a pretty great accomplishment so early in the game. I think the best advice I could give to a young person interested in a similar career, or any career for that matter, is to just follow your heart, stay true to what you're passionate about, and you know, there's no point in slaving away at something that you're going to regret and just totally, you know, hate for the rest of your life. I think it's so important to be engaged and interested in what you do, and if you don't love what you're doing, this is not going to happen.
All right, and that was Jacob Manning, another one of our alumni. Yeah, just talking about what his skill was and where it's brought him today. So I'll go back to the PowerPoint where we are just a few slides behind. So I'll flick through those really quickly. And here we go. So the one last thing I wanted to talk to you folks about in regards to competition is actually the fact that competitions can help win you some tuition money. So depending on what age you are, you might be thinking about this, you might not be thinking about it yet, but competing with Skills Canada competitions is actually a great opportunity to be winning some money towards your tuition. So thanks to a partnership with TD Insurance and College of the North Atlantic, we actually offer different amounts of prize money in the form of tuition vouchers to our medalists. So if you go to our provincial competition and you win a gold medal, you'll automatically win $500 towards your CNA tuition in the future, if that's what you choose to do. The great thing about these awards is that they're actually stackable. So if you win at the provincial level and win $500, and then you move on to the nationals and you get a bronze medal, you already have $1,000 in your bank for tuition. And they're stackable by year too. So taking an example from one of my friends, she's actually the one in the background of the picture, stood on the left, holding the Newfoundland flag. Her name is Chelsea, and she competed in 2D animation for years when we offered that. And she competed since grade 7. And there are some years that she won medals, there's some years that she didn't. But from the years that she did win medals, she was able to make enough money in tuition vouchers to pay her entire college education. So for the 2-year graphic design diploma, she went to college in North Atlantic for, she didn't pay a cent. She was using all of her Skills Canada tuition vouchers. So it's a really amazing opportunity if you do plan on heading to the college. And so if you are interested in that, please do keep an eye out for competitions, as it'll benefit you in the future. And we have one last video to share, which means I need to switch my screen again. Hold on just one moment. Here we go. So that video, if you missed it, if you missed the big bold letters across the screen, it was just encouraging students to try everything. So we know that lots of times people are nervous to try new things, but with Skills Canada, we really encourage folks to try out new things, even if it intimidates them, even if they're not perfect at it already, even if it's something you might not do with your career. Like we said before, why not try it? You'll get good experience, resume building material, and networking that you can't get anywhere else. So at the end of the day, give it a shot. That is the end of our presentation today, aside from a few last things that Becca and Carrie will speak on. Otherwise, we're opening the floor for questions. But before that, I would just like to point you to our contact information. So if you're interested in anything that we discussed today, you can contact us through email. We have our website up, which is going to have our competition descriptions up soon. Otherwise, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok, where I mostly just make a fool out of myself, but it's super fun. So if you want to follow us on any of those platforms for updates as competitions get closer, or if you have any specific questions, feel free to contact us. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll hand it over to Becca and Carrie.
Perfect. So I think Carrie's going to play a game with everyone. But before we do that, there was a question in the chat. So I think it was Natalie, and she wanted to know if your school had to be registered in order to compete. So Carrie did write back Natalie to let her know that, yes, typically your school does have to be registered in order to compete. But if you are interested in competing, we would ask that you find a teacher sponsor. But if you can't find one, we would definitely work with you in order to help you find one with your school. So if you ever have any questions or anything like that at a later date, you can definitely reach out to us. Carrie, like she said before, is our program coordinator for competitions, so she's a great one to reach out to. But I hope that answers your question there. And of course, if anyone else has any other questions for Carrie or Allie or myself, feel free to stick it in the chat box. and you can do that now or before the session ends. But while we're waiting for some questions to come in, I will pass it over to Carrie. So she'll explain the game. We are going to use Kahoot, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with in school and that sort of thing. Just something super fun. So Carrie, if you want to take it over.
Yes, I actually just learned that we only have 2 live. So we can still play.
Yeah, perfect.
We can still play because it is a learning tool, just to kind of go over what we did or learned in the slide. I don't know if the girls maybe want to type that they are good to play, or we just want to leave it at some questions. You guys let me know, and because it's all ready to go. So if the girls just want to type and let me know if they're willing.
Perfect. That'd be great. And if not, no worries. What we'll do is I'm actually also going to drop a link in the chat box. It's just a quick Google link. So we do ask if you have some time to fill out our Google form. It just gives us some really great feedback on our presentation today, and as well as the activity that we did have uploaded. So the Keep It Cool activity, if anyone has any questions about that, I know that's just kind of there as an extra thing if anybody would like to do this month. It's super fun. It gets you thinking about your skills for success, which I will talk actually about for a minute on too, and those types of things. So that one's all about refrigeration careers, which is a really cool one, and one that's not really talked about a lot. So that one's really neat. So if you have any questions, we would definitely reach out to us, but we would love to see your pictures of your activity. So if you'd like to upload them online and tag us on any of our social media accounts, we'd love to see all the projects that everyone is working on. And one thing I will add is that I think you get 5 gamification points if you do fill out the survey in the chat box. So it's a quick survey, only take you a minute or so. And I guess what we'll do is I'll talk a little bit for a couple minutes about our skills for success. So I know that all of you have been doing an essential skills activity. So essential skills are basically the same thing as skills for success, but they actually recently changed with the government of Canada. So now they're called skills for success. And then 9 skills for success are numeracy, communication, creativity and innovation, problem solving, reading, digital skills, collaboration, adaptability, and writing. So as you can see, these are all skills that we use every single day, whether we're in school, whether we're home. We use communication is a really big one, reading, writing, and it may seem kind of silly to think that that's a skill, but they really are important skills to have in everything that we do in everyday life. So skills for success are basically that. They're skills that lead to success in whatever career or path you choose to take. So we definitely encourage you to read a little bit more up on the skills for success. You can catch it on the government website. Just type in skills for success, Government of Canada, and you'll get a page filled of different videos explaining what they are. So that's a really good tidbit there. Carrie, I didn't see anything come in the chat, so maybe what we'll do is we'll hold off from the game for now, if that works for you. But I guess before we wrap it up, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know. If you think of something afterwards, or if you just don't want to stick it in the chat box right now, that's okay. What I'll do is I'll stick my email in the chat box, and you can definitely reach out to me. And if you have any questions about competitions or even our alumni or anything like that, I'll be happy to forward you on to Carrie and Allie. And I'm sure that they would love to help you out. So that is my email there. So feel free to reach out if you'd like to know any more information about any of our programs, and especially our competitions, because like Allie already explained, there's such a great opportunity. So with that, Trina, I think we're all good to go.
That was wonderful. Thank you each for your part in this. It's great to hear about all of the Skills Canada programs, of course, and the students did receive some brochures in their mail out this month as well. So hopefully they've had a glance through that. I hope your kind of national umbrella updates that app, because I really enjoyed just the interaction of doing the essential skills quiz there. But the videos on your website also are wonderful on the numeracy and the various skills for success.
Awesome. And Trina, I can also send you some links too that might be helpful for the new Skills for Success if you'd like to share as well. And what I'll do too is I'll just say my email because I know that there will be some people catching the replay. So if you don't have access to the chat box, you can just email me at Rebecca, REBECCAL @skillscanada.com. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Perfect. And I'd just like to ask this kind of broad question about misconceptions. So each of you have probably been with Skills Canada for a bit of time there now. Is like, what's the, if you had to say like one big misconception that people have about Skills Canada programs or competitions, if you had to correct that right now, what is it?
Well, I'll say one and then I'll open up to Allie and Carrie. But I guess one big one, I think for me, is that a lot of people think that there's a huge cost to our programming. And although with competitions, there can be some small costs, especially with the travel within Canada, when you make it to the national level, there are some small costs there and there are some registration fees. This year, though, virtually everything is free. There's no cost associated with it. Same with our programming. All of our programming is free to youth, which is a really, really great thing. And I think that is some common misconceptions about our programming. But Carrie or Allie, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
Actually, I do with competitions. A lot of, actually, Allie and I heard even just yesterday, the misconception that they don't know how to do certain things, or it's going to be difficult, or even the I'm going to be made fun of because I can't do these things maybe as good as somebody else. But my message would be is that it's a fun competition. Everybody is in the same boat. Everybody is trying something new. Somebody may have a little bit more knowledge, but they're still in the same boat. Competition can be scary. It can be, you know, if you don't have the right support in line, and Skills provides that support for you guys, for the competitors. We have mentors and coaches and people who have been in the field for years and years, and we have all this support around that can help competitors. It's not a matter of someone going in there and making fun of somebody else because they can't do the job. We're all in the same boat. The competitors are all in the same boat and just trying something new. So don't be afraid. I know it's scary, but don't be afraid to try something. There's the support there between Skills and mentors and teachers and peers. When you're in an environment, when it's in person, you have all these people and all this hype and all this support all around you. You can't help but feel the love and support around you. So don't be afraid to try something because of these little fears that you have. It makes you feel so good and it builds so much confidence when you do go out and try something. I'll give one example. My daughter competed for the first time. She's in grade 7 and she competed for the first time this year. And she told me she was going to bake. I nearly cringed because my daughter burns everything. But we supported her. Absolutely, give her a go. The confidence that she came out with was unreal. She went in there, she did it all on her own, she recorded herself, she baked, she had a wonderful product. I think she came 5th out of 11. And for someone who doesn't have a lot of confidence and doesn't know a lot about baking, she absolutely did amazing. And it really instilled confidence in her because, like Rebecca said, you're not only learning that skill, you're learning other things. And Asia learned about public speaking and those different things that came along with it. So I really want to put out there that, you know, you may be scared, but you have that support, and don't think that someone's going to make fun of you because we're all there and we're all doing the same kind of thing. So just give her a go. That's my message.
Absolutely. So Trina, wondering if there's support for rural students. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So we do definitely have support. So Trina, the great thing about it is that we actually have, and I'll get Carrie to talk a little bit about this too, but we actually have mentors from all across the province. So we actually work with schools and colleges from all across the province and that sort of thing, when we're in person too. So if we have a student say, and Carrie, feel free to, because I'm not the, Carrie's the competition person, I'm not, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So say if we have a student who signs up from a school from the West Coast, we work with a teacher liaison at that school to make sure that that student is definitely supported in having all the information that they need in order to succeed. We want to make sure that it's an even playing field, and we are pan-provincial, so it's important that students from all across the province in Labrador are supported just the same as a student from here in St. John's, Newfoundland. So that's actually a really great question, because it is very important to us that students from all across the province get that same level of support. And we work really hard to make sure that even though our office is in Mount Pearl, we're really, a pan-provincial thing. So that's actually a really great point. So thank you for bringing that up. And Carrie, yeah, absolutely. One thing I will kind of just add on to that is there's even some categories like coding. So I do not know one thing about coding, and you might be in the same position. Maybe you know a lot about coding, maybe you don't. But if you don't, and you think it sounds interesting, you can go and do that competition because there's a workshop. So everybody goes into that competition. Maybe no one knows anything about coding, and that's okay, because you are going to do a workshop. So like Carrie said, don't be intimidated. There's lots of people doing these competitions that have never tried it before. So yeah, absolutely try something new, and you do have that support. So that's really great. Thanks, Carrie. Allie, do you have anything, or does that cover, if you have anything to add?
I mean, just to add on to what you just said, I've been talking with a bunch of our provincial technical committee members recently, and for the most part, when I ask what's the expectation, because that's, we've been doing these little interviews to prepare for students to watch when they go into the competition. So those will be available to you folks coming up in the contest descriptions. But generally, when I asked these members, like, oh, what is the expectation from students when it comes to competitions, they would list a few things, but generally their expectation was, come with an open mind, come with an interest, and come ready to learn. So whether you know everything about it, whether you know nothing about it, even if you're interested in trying something new, most every single provincial technical committee member I talked to said there's tons of resources on YouTube. So you can register for the competition, practice a bit beforehand, but then during the competition, you'll have these experts just an email away. So even if you're trying it for the first time, it doesn't matter if you come first or dead last. We've all been dead last before. I certainly have. But it really doesn't matter where you place. It's just about having fun, having that resume building material, and just having a good time.
Yeah, especially with it being virtual this year, it's all about having a good time. So yeah, I think that's our little bit of advice, and I guess a couple things to add on there, Trina.
That's wonderful. And yeah, you can't really be dead last if you're there and other people aren't. So if you show up, you're ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. Taking that not risk, but taking that first step of trying something new you're a winner already, because you're learning something new. So yeah.
Lots of people will never do it. So if you're putting yourself forward to compete, you're already leagues ahead of tons of other kids in my mind. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I did just realize students might be waiting for me to hold up a Post-it note of your gamification code. In lieu of that, it's the survey. So that is in the chat in FeedLoop, as well as in the chat in Zoom as well here. So either way, you can do your survey, and there's your gamification code for watching this video today. And again, just thank each of you ever so much. This has been wonderful. And with that, I think we're going to clue up. A reminder that we have 2 more sessions with the Office to Advance Women Apprentices the next 2 Mondays at 4 o'clock. And Rebecca's email is also in the FeedLoop chat if you do have any questions about Skills Canada programs going forward.
Perfect.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Excellent.
Thank you so
for
much for
having
having us. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
for watching.
Bye.
Bye.